Hello and welcome back to the Penno channel. We're here to discuss all things Villa that have happened in the past week, and a lot has gone on. I'm joined here, as usual, with my bro Ad's here. Just think, bro, last week, man, it was we were in the sunshine, having a few, getting prepared for England to play against Spain at the Euros. And now the week's just flown by, man. Even this weekend has just absolutely flown by. But yeah, you're good, bro.
Yeah, I'm good, man. That feels like ages ago now, thinking
It's mad,
about it.
isn't it?
But we're just back in the mode for Villa and just Villa preseason friendlies, transfer rumours, everything we're going to get into this podcast, man.
Yeah, mad. Time does fly in football. It really does. It's kind of Euros has just been put on the back burner now, and Villa have had a few games this week, and everything's just back to club football and concentrating on that. And yeah, can't wait for
Bro,
this season, man. Can't wait.
Palace away feels like yesterday to me.
What
Like
Palace does?
Palace away, yeah, that just feels like yesterday. Like I can't believe the season's going to be back soon already. Like it's crazy.
What that whole international tournament in the middle just kind of
Just flowing
subsided.
by.
It's not part of. Yeah, it did go quick the Euros. It did indeed, and I think it would have felt even quicker if England hadn't got as far as they did, because that's just usually how it goes. But yeah, bro. Let's get into it. But before we start, if you again could like the stream as we always say, also subscribe if you're new. This is all Villa content. So appreciate the new subs, and also comment your thoughts at the end of the stream on what we're discussing here. So yeah, bro, Villa, busy week, man. Busy week. Started off with the usual pre-season friendly against Walsall. It's part of the culture of the club, part of the nature. The annual pre-season friendly at Walsall, going down to Bescott. And it's a time where, if Villa have made some signings, the players get to see the players go over to the fans sometimes, sign autographs and stuff like that, and get just a closer look of some of the players that are coming and are going to be there for the new season. And that's what happened. There was a number of names, Enzo Barrenechea, Ealing Jr. Played there as well. If you can sort of name, Dobbin didn't. He featured more on the weekend. But yeah, it's a time to see some new faces, some new signings. And what were your thoughts of the friendly and what happened?
Yeah, another thing as well for the academy guys, it's a chance for them to either make an impression on Emery or make an impression on a potential loan deal because they'll know clubs are watching them in these games. Like clubs see everything, so it's also a little window for them to maybe impress and get a good loan deal out as well. So these are important games, I think, for the academy players that come in and want to make an impression. So yeah, and I feel like we represented ourselves well in those games. I thought players like Feeney, I thought Bogard in the recent friendly was excellent. Caden Young's been impressing as well. So it's good to see our academy boys get out there as well.
Yeah, you got to think a number of them were out on loan last season. So Josh Feeney was with Tom O'Reilly at Union Real, Real Union. You've got Ken Kessler Hayden's just come back as well. He was in the picture towards the end of last season, but he was hardly getting any minutes. So he had that loan spell at Plymouth and previously at Huddersfield. So he will be trying to stake a claim. Just recently signed a new deal, so he'll be thinking, I'll be part of the first team in the first team squad, and we're looking to break through in that respect. Caden Young, hadn't seen much of him since really the season before. He was part of the first team squad, and then kind of the start of the last season, he wasn't really featured as much and got himself back into the squad again. Cameron Archer's returned now from Sheffield United. So he'll be looking to see, if he's going to be part of Villa's plans and looking to impress within that, and a host of other players. So yeah, it is a big factor for those players that have come through the academy or still part of the academy that are getting those opportunities, and they're just looking to show what they're capable of within the pre-season and get the opportunities and take the opportunities that they get with the pre-season friendlies and the games as well around that. But yeah, what are your thoughts regarding the new signings that have played? We'll start with Walsall and then move on to Trnava. But yeah, what was your thoughts?
I think we got to start with Barrenechea. Oh boy, you ever seen that Lippy meme when he's reviewing the J Hot album and he's just like, "Am I gassing it? Am I gassing it? It hasn't even started." That's how it felt with Enzo. Like every single touch he was doing on the pitch, I thought, "Oh, he's getting me excited." I thought, "What a player we got here for the turning, the range of passing." He was always demanding the ball. I thought he made an excellent first impression. Excellent. Like there's certain players you can just tell like quality. And I know it was only Warsaw. I know it was only a Warsaw preseason friendly, but there was good signs in that performance that I really liked. So yeah, I'd say Enzo was the standout player for me. Costa, is it Nadalcevic?
Yeah,
Bro, I thought he was really good as well in the Warsaw friendly, getting on the
yeah.
ball, making runs down the line. Him and Bailey already looked to have a little bit of a connection as well, and he's attacking the box and whipping those balls in. So I thought he did well, and I think he
Kostanianovic is one to look at. He's 18 years of age as well. Like his
exactly.
stature doesn't look like an 18-year-old, and he's only going to grow more into that body, and he's just rapid. He loves the overlap as well as his defensive action. So yeah, that's one player I'm looking forward to seeing more of for sure. But yeah, Ealing Junior as well got minutes.
Yeah,
Thoughts on him and how he played? You know, just getting into it, settling. I think it's harder for an attacker to settle into these sort of scenarios because the way we play, the attackers will see less of the ball because the midfield and the defense dominate the ball. So when you do get the ball, you have to kind of make an impact in that certain phase of the game, and it probably takes a bit more time to show what you were capable of. But he did get a good assist for Louie Barry again, a player who's come back from injury and from a loan. Potentially might go back there to Stockport. But yeah, thoughts on Ealing Junior and his time within that Wolves
yeah.
squad?
What I loved about his assist is you can tell that's coaching, and that's he's picked that up quickly from the Emery system. Because as soon as Enzo passed to Bailey, Ealing Junior made his run, and it's an unreal pass from Bailey. Like it's like line breaking pass. It gets through both Warsaw's midfield and defense, and Ealing's already made that run as well, and that looks like coaching to me. So yeah, he did well, crossed it in, and Barry slotted it home. Ealing's interesting though because I think long term we might start seeing him used on the right. There's just certain things I've noticed in both the games. I know it's only pre-season, but he looks a bit uncomfortable when he's a left-footed player dribbling in that left half space, linking up with the left back. He looks like he'd be more comfortable on the right where he can run inside and maybe curl a shot in or beat his man a lot easier. I don't know. I think that's something we'll see long term.
Yeah, potentially when we've got Jaden coming in now, he'll probably operate off the left. So Ealing might see himself on the right and just be that option as well. But yeah, it was a very, very good performance against Walsall. Again, it's pre-season. All the players are looking to do is get minutes in and just play at a level that's competitive. It's not much to take from it, but there was good signs within that. There was nice build up. There was nice phases of play as well. And Morgan Rogers was the standout, I think, within that game. He looks so sharp and he looks ready. He looks ready to attack the season. And he missed the final month of the season for injury. It wasn't through no fault of his own. He got injured, and at that point when he did, he scored goals against Chelsea, goals against Bournemouth. He was flying, goal against Brentford. He was absolutely flying, and he was kind of the standout player for Villa before he did get injured towards the end of last season. And he looks like he's ready to go again and just show the levels he's capable of and the level he can get to. I think there's no limit currently because a player of that stature, that ability as well. He was signed for Man City Academy. He has the ability as well, and we've seen elements of that. Who knows what level Morgan Rogers can get to, and being part of the England under 21 squad as well. I think he'll be looking to push on and get into that England squad indefinitely. So yeah, expecting a lot from Morgan Rogers this season, and he looks like in pre-season he's ready to attack the season for sure.
Yeah, and I think you described it well. I think sharp's the best word to use for it. We said last season, after he scored that goal against Brentford, he started demanding the ball more. There was a bit of arrogance to his play where it was almost like, wait, actually, I am good enough to play in the Premier League. I am good enough to start for Aston Villa. And we started to see that confidence grow. He was showing for the ball. He was dribbling more. And as you said, he was our standout player in 2024, arguably, until he did get injured. So started the preseason like he means business
He
this
does.
season in a different role as well, playing up
Yeah.
front in a different role, dropping deep, making runs in behind. We saw that with the Warsaw goal where Barkley found him from the quick free kick. Yeah, just really exciting, man. But it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think he'll be looking to play off Watkins? That's the plan for Morgan Rogers.
I think it could work. I think it
Yeah,
could work.
same.
Sometimes I'd like the front two to maybe have different attributes. I think they are a little bit similar, but honestly, I'm not mad at it at all. But I think that left half space position is his best position for now. And Ramsey's still not back, so I think Rodgers has that locked down for the start of the season. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Even yesterday in the game, you saw for the third goal, he steps into that space in the middle of the pitch, playing off Archer, and turns on the ball and lays it in lovely to him. So he can play that. He can play that role. It looks like Emery's considering it, and if that is the case, I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I think him and
that term was
Watkins
a joke,
could work. Oh no, it was a joke, and I think him and Watkins could really work because Morgan Rogers has such confidence on the ball and ability to. We've seen the runs he's made from deep with the ball at his feet, and players can't get close to him. They have to foul him to bring him down. I remember the Wolves games in particular. He had a few runs where they couldn't get close to him. He was taking on 3 or 4 men, and they'd have to bring him down to draw a foul. So, but I think he could play there. He could play there.
I think if they did play up front together, though, Watkins' role would change. Well, I don't think Watkins will be dropping deep as much and receiving the ball from Pau Torres. I think Rodgers will be tasked with that then. And Watkins would maybe just be a pure outlet running in behind, taking the role of Diaby more. I think it would work more that way than the opposite.
But then I think about Diaby sometimes is he had the highest chance creation numbers as well. So Diaby did often find himself in the pocket of space when he was playing, and he was one of our most creative players, if not our most creative players, even though he might not have seemed that way through watching him and watching how he played. The numbers wise, he was right up there. So again, Morgan Rogers could do a bit of that role as well, and it might fall onto Watkins then to play as the 9 and maybe have less creative numbers, but be scoring even more goals than he did last season, which is going to be a difficult task. But Ollie Watkins is flying at the minute, and it's one that I'm sure he'll be looking to do. He's got Gabi Bonglaho's record so close now. I think he's 15 goals off it. He'll be looking to beat that next season. So it's
interesting as well. I wonder if Rodgers might fancy himself for penalties. I've never seen him. I don't know what his technique's like or anything, but that's something I could think with his personality, his charisma, he'd have the confidence to step up and be like, in the absence of Louise, listen, I can take penalties.
He seems like he's in the same mold as Cole Palmer, doesn't he? Rogers.
Yeah,
you can tell why the boys. You can tell why they were the best friends. Yeah,
you can tell why they were friends. Even his answer when they said whose celebration is it, he was just like, it's my celebration. Check the tweets. Check he's like, there's that arrogance to his play. And I think he came to Villa a bit shy, maybe thinking he wasn't good enough for the Premier League at first. And then, like I said, man, that Brentford goal, that's where it all changed, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see how it develops with Morgan Rogers, but he looks the sharpest out of everyone so far. He looks the player that he's really showing that he's ready, but there's plenty more games to go. Thoughts from yesterday and how we played and set up within that. He was kind of similar, if not the same lineups. I think only Louis Dobbin was the one who came into the first lineup. They rotated, so the lineup that started first against Walsall came on second, and then the lineup that started second started the first half. Thoughts on that and how we played? Again, it was just sharpness. I thought Trnava showed a bit more Conference League side. I did say that them against Zielinski next year, if that were to happen, might be a good game because they did pose some sort of threat within that. But anything you gathered from that game again?
I thought the second half team impressed me a lot more than the first. I thought the second half team were a lot more. I thought Beauregard was excellent. He did as much as he could have to make an impression during that game. I thought he was receiving well. His footwork looked good. He made that pass to Rodgers that led to the Archer goal. Yeah, super impressive. And we know Beauregard's always been a talent since his final days. Just been unlucky with injuries and the timing, etc. So his contract ends next year. So it'll be interesting to see how Villa approach that. There
was rumours about Lamar Beauregard. I mean, he had that loan. Was it Bristol City? Was it or Rovers?
He went to Rovers.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers, and then came back. There was talks of him potentially going to Nottingham Forest. Never really materialised. I don't know if that still will because it was kind of in that region of PSR and when there was discussions around that. So whether that will be the case now, I don't know. But do you think he sees himself, or Villa see him being part of the squad this season, or as you said, his contract runs out soon? Do we look to move him on?
The problem for Beauregard is that centre midfield position right now is stacked, especially with Onana coming in now as well. So it's an awkward one for him. Do Villa renew his contract, loan him out, and maybe see next season? Do we try him at centre back as like that backup option to Carlos maybe? If Konsa's starting and then can cover at right back as well. It's just one of them because he's so talented, and I just feel like if he wasn't unlucky with injury, he could have got a real shot at Villa, I feel like. But yeah, I thought he impressed me yesterday. Caden Young, 18 years old, and he's creating separation against these guys. Don't think the end product's there yet. Like the final delivery needs to be worked on, but he's 18. There's plenty of time for him to grow. And I think a loan deal for him, a really good loan deal where he's playing a lot of minutes. And next season when he comes back, I think we could have a player there, seriously.
I don't think Swinkles and Feeney did themselves no harm with their performances, and I think Feeney, especially on the ball, looked very composed next to Pau Torres. I mean, it's hard for defenders not to look composed if you're playing with Pau Torres because he's one of the most composed, but he didn't look out of place at all, and I thought he played well with the ball. And yeah, again, Josh Feeney and Sinkles will be looking to at least state a case or being part of the squad. If not, they'll be potentially just going back on loan again and applying their craft somewhere else and just developing. And it's part of developing these players, whether they stay on or we receive a fee from, or look to use them further on down the line as part of the squad. But they did themselves no harm at all.
You can see why Feeney captains England at his age level. Just the long passes, the composure on the ball, it's all there, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, we'll see over time whether he's part of the plans, but whether he's or isn't, he'll have no problems playing at a high level. He just has that composure of play as a centre back, and he defends well as well. So yeah, exciting times, man. Especially with, as you stated, bro, with the youngsters coming through, and if they are or if they aren't part of the future plans, but they're good players. They're good players, and they can step up when needed. We saw parts of last season as well. Ralphie Monroe came into the side, and he didn't look out of place when he was playing. So that's another player as well. Ben Christen's, who we haven't really seen much of, had a good season at Blackburn last year.
With the under-21s against Chasetown, I think Monroe and
they did. And
Rory Wilson was there as well.
Yeah, they did.
Lino Salsa as well. He's still with the under-21s as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for Lino Salsa because he didn't get much of a chance at Plymouth. He started a few games and then he kind of got, wasn't part of their first team plans, and Plymouth were really going for it for survival last season. And it comes to a time usually where they don't rely on, if you're in that position within the league, you don't really rely on youngsters who have come in on loan for a 6-month period to push for survival. Usually teams like that will use more experienced heads, and he didn't really get the opportunity there. They eventually did stay up. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the plan is for Lina Souza, and if it is, another loan deal, or we look to move on, because he's only been here, 6 months? Getting him in from Arsenal in that window in January where we did get a number of youngsters, and Kostanovic being one of them as well.
Gauchi as well. First we saw of him this preseason. Looked good.
Gauchi looks good. Gauchi's impressed me. Yeah, it's 2 preseason games, but he looked commanding. He looks confident in his play, and I think that number 2 shirt's his. To be honest,
you reckon?
Just from watching, I mean, just the confidence. I mean, Olsen again. There's areas in the Walsall game where confidence wasn't there. He made a few good saves yesterday, but just claiming the ball, he dropped one, and I was just like, "Come on, we need more than this." But
what made me carry on? Sorry.
No, I was just saying. I think Joe Gauchi should be thinking, I should be Villa's number 2, and aiming for that Australian goalkeeper now, Australian international. I think he's number 2 to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan hasn't got much longer playing for Australia. I don't think he's of that age now where he'll be looking to retire soon. So Joe Gauchi should be looking to be Aston Villa's number 2, pushing Emi Martinez for Aston Villa's number 1, and also being Australia's number 1. So yeah, I can see him making a push for sure for that.
Yeah, definitely. What I was gonna say is what made me laugh is seeing Dendonka trying flicks, tricks, passes he's never tried in his life. I was just like, has Baranachea really been influencing you that much? Like, are you trying to show us something? Because Chris, I've never seen Leander try some of the stuff he was trying in that preseason friendly yesterday. Just found it funny. Even Cash as well. Cash came on. It looked like Cash came on that second half. It looked like he was playing like with intent. Like he's doing that little bit of pressure there when it's just like, hang on, I got competition now.
Yeah,
and Nadaljevic has been, apart from one moment where he mistimed the head of Nadaljevic yesterday, I thought he's been really good.
You're right. You bang on. The competition breeds, players. It makes players think I've got to perform now. Otherwise, there's someone ready to vacate my spot. And with Costa coming in at right back, and we've seen him in Kane Kessler-Hayden signing a new deal. Ezri Konsa's not here yet. That right back position is very competitive. The left back position is very competitive. I do think one of Digne and Moreno will go, but currently he's Digne and Moreno. Ian Matson hasn't joined up yet, and potentially Ian Julian could play in that position, even though I don't think he will. He can potentially play there. And then you've got to think players like Jacob Ramsey, Emi Buendia, Tyrone Mings. I'm not sure will be part of the squad initially because I don't think he's ready as of yet. But those two have got to come back, and then you've got the big boys who Ollie Watkins, Emi Martinez, Amadou Onana, who's going to be signing soon. I mean, John McGinn as well. John McGinn, how can you forget? So yeah, there's competition, man. There's competition everywhere, and it's good. That's the positive. You want everyone on their toes and playing to their full potential. You don't want players relaxing and thinking players can't take the position because another one, Yuri Tillemans, right? Another one I forgot. So yeah, competition's good, bro, and we need it, and we need a squad this season. We saw what happened when we were a bit light in the squad last year. It did affect our performances, I feel, and some of our results. We couldn't dominate games, and even in games when we were dominating, we kind of fell apart as such, and teams were able to capitalise on it, and we didn't really have the options on the bench to change it in a way I think Emery would like to. So getting the squad up to a level where player for player, you don't really miss someone if they drop out and someone can just come in and fill that void. That's where we need to be. And
Facts.
It's good to see, man.
I heard Konsa's been given off till August 5th.
Has it?
So he won't be going on the US preseason tour.
Yeah, I think
about Martinez, but that's what I've heard about Konsa.
I'd imagine those three won't be back until that point. Yeah, what's that? Another 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, the finalists. So Martinez, Konsa, and Watkins, yeah. And Duran, maybe. We'll see Duran. We'll see if Duran ever comes back to Villa Park, bro. Like,
well, yeah, we'll see.
Got locks. He got locks now, you know. Duran's
has he? Locks.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the Vinny Junior thing. But
did he take that? Mohamed Kudus appointment.
Yeah. But he's on his stairs with the locks. I was just like, go
on. The 1 week locks.
Yeah, man.
1 week locks, man.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Duran. I want it to work out, but I think he's gonna leave this summer.
Yeah, I think he's gonna leave as well. The way, just everything around the socials have been acting around Duran. I just think he's gonna move on. But yeah, we'll see, bro. Anyway, let's move on. It's pre-season. Villa fly to the USA over the coming week now. Columbus Crew, RB Leipzig, and CF América as well, which is a very interesting game. That's not to see us playing teams like that from a team from Mexico who you just wouldn't get the opportunity to play a team like that, and it's just a bit interesting, something a bit different. Step up in level, especially against an RB Leipzig. Depending on how many of their players from the Euros do turn up there, I can't envisage like a Dani Almo being there if he's still part of their squad. I always, Xavi Simons as well. So it'd be interesting to see how we get on against those sort of sides in a competitive manner as can possibly be in a pre-season. You looking forward to that?
It's a test, isn't it? It's a test, man. So Leipzig will be a fun game. Even the Dortmund game when we come back and play them. Feels like the level's been increased because of the Champions League qualification. And I think Villa have studied and they want to replicate the kind of team we'll be facing in that competition.
What did you think last year of playing Premier League opposition? Do you think that improved us? Obviously, Emi Buendia got injured in that period of time. Tyrone Mings got injured in our first game of the season, but we had a very competitive pre-season. We played Brentford, we played Newcastle within that. Do you think that set us up in good stead, or looking back on it now, that was possibly the wrong decision to play? Because Premier League and Premier League games, you always know the competitiveness and the intensity was going to be of a high standard no matter what, and it really was. So, yeah, how do you think that was? And now looking that we're not playing a Premier League side within pre-season, do you reckon that will benefit us more?
I think it's a good thing. You could tell. Remember when that body cam, Yuri Tillemans footage released, and you saw how intense and quick the speed was. I think it's a good thing mentally as well. It sets the players in rhythm. My only concern is the pitches and going back to America for the pitches. That's where I think our struggles came from. The Newcastle pitch wasn't that good. The Fulham pitch wasn't good.
Yeah.
That's my concern, not about the opposition, more just the state of the pitch. I mean, if you see the Copa America complaints that they've been having, especially from Emi Martinez as well, it's like the pitch was like a disgrace, like it couldn't even be played on. So I just hope that's all sorted for our games.
Yeah, Spendon makes a great point, and thanks for joining Spendon. He says intensity would be good for the other as well, as they're currently in the middle of their season for Columbus Crew, which is facts, which is good for us that we're playing against players that are currently in the middle of a campaign, because they'll be at the peak of their fitness, and it'd be a real challenge then. You'll see where your body's at. And the Premier League season's not far off now, bro, less than a month. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how our players adapt to that, going to the USA and just seeing what level they are at. And who do you think will go? Do you think Matson and Onana, do you reckon they'll be on there? Or
I think they'll join up probably halfway through.
Yeah. And the remaining, John McGinn's, Yuri Tillemans, they'll join at the same sort of time.
I'd expect McGinn to be back earlier because they didn't reach the knockout stage.
Yeah.
They didn't reach the knockout, so I think that's how it gets staggered. Knockouts. So if you reached around the 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, final, like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, looking forward to it. And again, football is back very, very soon. It's a quick turnaround because of when you have a major competition within the summer. And it feels like it's even quicker. It feels like it's come around so quick.
And want to talk about?
Yeah, I was just going to move on, bro. We'll talk about business. And firstly, do you think there'll be, before we get on to, do you think there'll be any more incomings before the season starts?
I hope so.
You hope so? Do you think so?
Maybe one.
One
or two.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I think there will be. Potentially not before we go to America, but I do think there'll be one or two more, and that might rest upon outgoings. And still, if a John Duran does leave, or a few other positions within that, Eliander Dendoncourt or someone else, I think there could be more incomings. But yeah, it will. I think it will rest now on outgoings and who leaves the club. And yeah, so let's move on. Let's talk about some of that. Firstly, Amadou Onana, he's completed his medical now, so it looks like everything's set. That was just before we came on. So set to sign tomorrow. Exciting player, exciting signing. I think the biggest signing of the summer for us to date, and could have a huge impact on the squad and how we play. It might lead to us playing in a different style and a different manner to how we have previously. Yeah, exciting the player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play for us.
Yeah, let's just hope Manchester United back off now, because reports were saying they were trying to hijack the deal this week, and they were contacting his people. Eric Ten Hag was trying to get the deal done, but he said, no, man, I want to play Champions League football this season. I'm going to Aston Villa, and it looks like they're going to get Manuel Ugarte instead. So, yeah, really excited by this player. I think we're going to get someone that's a defensive demon, but he's also going to be able to express himself on the ball more than he did at Everton. I think he's going to be able to dribble, he's going to be able to carry, he's going to be able to show his passing ability as well. I think he can play in the 2, or he can play further forward. Exciting, bro. I just love when Villa are about to sign a player that is just going to deliver. Still 22. I can just see him eating up those yards at Villa Park, carrying the ball. And fans are going to get excited by him because he's just that type of player. He's got the physical profile, he's got the intelligence, he's got the technique to go with it. And I think he's going to suit Emery's system perfectly.
Yeah,
I think people talking about the fee, I think in the next year or two, people are going to be like, that fee wasn't even bad at all.
Yeah. It happens if a player performs, no one talks about the fee. You think of a Benjamin White, no one talks about Ben White's fee. Ben White's fee is, what, 50-odd million? No one says a word about that fee because he's performed for Arsenal. So similar sort of thing for us. If he performs, no one will say anything regarding the fee at all.
And just think, by the end of his Villa contract, he'll be 27. Like, he's so young still.
Yeah,
He's so young. Like, honestly, I'm so excited for this deal.
And that's one of the big things I've liked about our business this window. We haven't even discussed Ross Barkley this year. How many players we brought in? Ross Barkley's come in as well. He's played well in the 2 preseason games so far. Got himself an assist.
He had that one moment. We'll let that slide.
When he played it across.
Nah, the Walsall game, like he just got the ball. And
when he played it across, that's how
I was like, oh no, Ross, man, what kind of first impression was this? But the passing yesterday was incredible. He played one pass,
he's quality.
And just slides through their midfield. It's just unreal.
Quality, man. It's quality, and that'll be interesting to see. Can you see Onana playing further forward to Barkley and Barkley kind of playing more of a deep line role within the two if they were to play together?
I think we're going to see rotation between Tielemans, Enzo, Onana, and Barkley. And honestly, I want to see an Enzo Onana midfield, man. I think they complement each other perfectly. Onana has the defensive capabilities as well. He's got the carrying, and he seems like Barrenechea, confidence to receive the ball from any angle, always progressing the ball forward. Got the range of passing as well. Kind of creative. I'd say Barrenechea reminds me more of Luis than Onana, if that makes sense. But he also has like similarities to Kamara as well. I just think.
Would you see them two would play like the base of the box if they're playing our box formation? Those two would be the base of it, and then further forward you'd have whoever was playing off the left and the right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
off the right and whoever off the left, whether it's Rodgers or
Yeah, we'll see. Tielemans.
Or do you see us changing a bit more in style?
I think it's going to be one of them ones where it's impossible to guess that box formation. It's going to depend on opposition. It's going to depend on how their fitness, basically, because the games are going to come thick and fast with Champions League as well. So I think we could see certain games like come the weekend if we're playing a weak opposition, where it's a Barkley, Onana, Enzo Tielemans. Like, you just never know now.
Yeah, and we've seen Unai with us and with many sides he's managed. He's happy to play 4 centre mids in that box formation. He's happy to just play. He's happy to do that. He'll play, past times to Coquelin off the left or an Edty and a Capu off the right, or he's moved McGinn. Now McGinn, he plays off that right side. That is his position, and he comes inside from there. So
if you look at Sheffield United away last season, the 5-0, he started Kamara, Louise, McGinn, Tielemans in the box 4. Diaby was on the bench, and I think that's kind of going to lead to our next segue about Diaby and why he is leaving Villa. But United's happy to do that with Bailey and Watkins as the runners. So
I think we'll see that a lot more this season for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 4 centre mids on the pitch, maybe 5 at times. One playing off Watkins as well. So yeah, bro, versatility is a big thing, and we signed someone last season, our record signing, because we're looking to kind of play him in a position he wasn't familiar with as that second striker, more than playing him off the right. And it seems that over the next few days or very, very soon, that player will no longer be with us, and that's Moussa Diaby. Thoughts on his time at Villa? How you feel about the transfer and him leaving? I mean, the wage structure that's been reported, he's on about 350k a week, and
without tax,
I don't begrudge him with that move at all. That's a life changing amount of money. So
how do you even compete with that, man?
Yeah, you can't. So I don't begrudge him with that, and good luck to Moussa Diaby if and when he does go to make his move to Saudi. But yeah, thoughts on his time at Villa and his application and what he was able to produce, and how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, we touched on it on the last podcast. It's a case of eye test. A lot of the times he did go missing, and it did look like he didn't suit the system. He had some poor performances. I think, ironically, his best performance was his last one at home to Liverpool, where I thought he was excellent. And I thought that's the Moussa Diaby we've been waiting to see. Getting into good positions to score, creative, he was good, constantly making runs. On the underlying stats, he was a top 3 Aston Villa player output-wise. That can't be denied from him. For a first season, I don't think his numbers were bad at all. And I do think he would have got better with time. But I think it will come out later that from both sides, there's kind of a feeling that he just didn't suit the system. His people weren't happy with his second striker role. They preferred Diaby as a winger. Emery was dropping Diaby in big games, man. Arsenal, Man City games, he was dropped. and I don't think Diaby was too happy about that. So I think it's just a case of Villa cashing in. Saudi are a team that aren't going to be a threat to Villa in the Champions League, in domestically as well. So there's that consideration there. If the deal's right, if they get the correct fee, yeah, I think Villa are just happy to cash in. And I think Diaby now, he didn't go to Saudi last year. He's had a year to think about it again, and now he's making his move.
Yeah, and there's a lot of factors that are in his favour for the move. And when people say stuff like, "Oh, ending your career at 25," I don't really get that. I just think if you're in that position, and you know that's a life-changing amount of money that will set up his kids and his kids' kids, and I understand his reasoning for that. It's just sad to see because he's a talent, he's a top talent, and who knows what he could have produced if he'd have stayed longer at Villa. But I feel like Emery and the board as well, Monchi, etc., feel like it's the right time as well, and they can reinvest that money. There's a profit that's been made on him as well. So yeah, I think both sides are kind of happy with the deal in essence, in its pure form. I don't think Emery would have liked to have lost him, but I think he can take within the fact that he can reinvest the money to find someone who's potentially even more suitable to play in that position.
What do you think of the reported fee of 60 million euros, so about 50 million pounds?
It depends how much we've spent on him and paid to buy Leverkusen, because there's so many reports that were floated around. I mean, David Ornstein stated it was 35 million plus additional add-ons. Who knows what part of those? Yeah, we don't know what the add-ons were, which ones were met. I assume one would have been Champions League football for sure. I feel like that we offered a lot of the players would have had a Champions League clause within that, so potentially that's been met. Appearances, he did make a large number of appearances. He played 50 odd games last season, so he might have met close to that as well. So who knows what the difference is between the fee we're actually will inevitably be playing by Leverkusen over the period, and then what we're receiving for Diaby and what add-ons will include into that deal. So yeah, there's other sources saying that we paid 51 million for him. Who knows what to believe, and there will be a profit made. Just don't know what figure it is and how much that will be.
I think with Saudi deals as well, like the structure's quite different. A lot of the clubs are happy to pay up front in a lump sum, where a club can have the money now. I know on the books it would still be amortized, but like there's different structures as well that can tempt clubs to accepting maybe a slightly lower fee than they would from a European club.
Yeah, facts for sure. If you got the guaranteed money coming in straight away, I think a lot of clubs would take that over being paid it over a certain period, because it helps them to move and have a bit more liquidity in around other transfers and other moves, and paying off other clubs for players that they've signed. So yeah,
it's surreal, isn't it? Like I'm losing like touch of a transfer window. Like years ago, you do not sell your main transfer after a season where you're successful. Just doesn't happen like that. But now it's just like, we'll just take him. Thank you very much. Boom, and it's done. So yeah, it's a weird one. But do you think we reinvest, or do you think we focus on other positions?
Reinvest in the same position. It's so tough now, because obviously you brought Philogene in now. We've seen Rodgers play as a second striker. Is Emery content with what we have in the attacking areas? He possibly could be. So, maybe when John Duran goes, then someone else does come in. If that is the case, I feel like that is 89% he will leave. So then you need to bring in another striker minimum. You can't go with Watkins and Cameron Archer. So will that striker be a second striker / can play as a 9 as well? I think that will be the case. Yeah.
Does the Duran Diaby replacement, like does Duran leaving and Diaby leaving, does that lead to a big signing for a player that can be the Diaby replacement, if that makes sense? Like, do they just allow getting a striker in, be content with Archer because of the homegrown rule quota that we know about for Champions League, and then just get like I don't want to say Eze, but get like an Eze in like 60 million release clause? Like, how will we operate, man? It's so interesting.
It is, because again the Philogene signing kind of came. I didn't think we'd sign him. I didn't think that would be the case.
Never,
yeah. I thought Philogene was gone, and to bring him back, that kind of changed my thoughts on things, because you have to think how many attacking players we have. We have so many.
We have a lot.
You bring in Louie Barry as well. Okay, he might not be part of the first. He might not stick around this season. He might go out on loan, but that's another attacker on top of what Rodgers, Archer,
Ramsey.
Buendia, Watkins. I think a nine who can play as a second striker will be the look, because touchwood again, a Watkins injury, and where do you go from there? Do you trust Cameron Archer to be that player? I don't think you can. I think it's hard to have anyone to replace Watkins anyway. But who could play in that position? I think. Would you trust Duran more? Yeah, I think so now. I think there's a few games last season where Duran kind of stepped in. I thought he played well against Man City away. We ended up losing the game, but I thought he played well in times playing that striker role. Scored as well. But yeah, I think we do go for, if Duran does go, we do go for a 9 for sure. Who can play as alongside Watkins, and I do feel like that would be a big name as well.
Well, the links that keep appearing is Kilishoy. I think I've said that. If I've said that wrong, please correct me. But Kilishoy at Besiktas, the Turkish player, those links don't seem to be going away. And I know Turkish links aren't the most reliable, but that I see it all the time. Like, we're just linked, we've made another bid, swap deals, all kinds of stuff. So
I think Max Byer's the one who I would love.
Yeah. Do you think though, at his stage of his career, coming off the season he'd be content with being a backup? That's my issues with that deal. I don't think he'd be convinced. I'd love him to sign, but I don't think he'd be convinced personally. I think him and his team will be like, hold on, I'm starting here on guaranteed minutes. They know that he's not starting over Watkins. If they promise him,
do you think he could play that second striker role?
No, well? I think he's a Watkins replacement. I think he's a Watkins replacement. Maybe, but I'm kind of sold on the idea of that second striker all being a 10.
Yeah,
like an Eze.
You've got your heart set on Eze.
I've got my heart set on Eze. It's not going to happen, but I don't know. I never thought Philogene was coming, so
got your heart set on Eze. João Felix.
Yeah, profile wise, I don't know about.
I think João Felix is the one profile wise, but I don't know.
What? Yeah, it's just the money in it and the arrogance, and would he be willing to play for Villa like that?
Yeah, he is. It's facts. And the first time round, it was a no. It was a no, indefinite no. But then it was Barcelona.
He's left us on red.
He wanted to play. It's same with Nico Williams, man. So that ain't never going to happen now. I don't think. I think he's
Barca
too big. Yeah.
But the fact we was looking, I like that.
But Emery's talent ID, man, he's not missing. He's not missing for sure. Like he wanted Williams 18 months ago, when he wasn't as well known as obviously he is now after the tournament he just had. But yeah, and I've seen how Emery talks about João Felix. So yeah, we'll see, bro. Moussa Diaby, wish him well, all the best, and who knows? I mean, I've seen St. Maximin's. He's leaving, isn't he, after a season?
Yeah, I think Diaby will be back in Europe soon.
Yeah, fine.
Give it 2 years.
I think that will be the case as well.
I think as well, what influenced him is the fact that he got Champions League. He was playing at Villa, and he didn't change his entry into the French team for the Euros. So he might have thought, okay, I'm not getting in the French team in Europe. I might as well just go Saudi.
Facts. That could be a big factor for sure. Because he did make some squads when he was part of us. He did, and he just never materialised.
The Shams brought him in. He was just like, he's still talented. I think he was kind of like a motivation factor to bring him in, but don't think he played any minutes.
Yeah. All right, bro. Again, everyone, if you could like the stream and subscribe if you're new, we really appreciate it. We're going to go on to some paper talk now, some light talk, and that's Jacob Ramsey. Again, I think it's old news. It looks like it's old news. It was reported bid previously rejected, just resurfacing, but kind of got around social media quite a bit. And yeah, we're just going to touch on it and your thoughts on Jacob Ramsey and what his season now holds. And I just can't wait to see him back playing again.
Leave him alone, love. Coming fresh off that JD advert. I don't know if you saw that. I thought he was sick personally. I love that. It was quality, wasn't it? That was so class. Good. It was class. So good. I love that kind of culture element to it. But yeah. Can I just say on Ramsey, I'm not saying most Villa fans, but I do think he's kind of becoming underrated a bit. I just think time off and the amount of football he's played has hardly been anything, but before Ramsey was injured at that Euros under-21 tournament, he was the best player in that team that had Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Ramsey was the star player. Ramsey was the player they would look to.
Emil Smith-Rowe was benched because of Ramsey. He wouldn't get in no games.
Exactly. Great point. And he got injured. It's not like he's fallen off form. It's not like he's just suddenly got bad at football. There's a reason he's had ankle issues. And I just hope next season that he can finally get over the issues and just show the player that he is. Back to the links. I would not be selling Jacob Ramsey this season. The finances are cool now. You've sold Diaby, you've sold Louise, and you're going to sell Duran potentially. We do not need to raise any more funds. Chill, relax. Don't be selling our high ceiling players coming off a season of injury. Like, there's no need. We can chill.
Especially it seems so weird. It seems so weird just hearing the opinions of both fans, because every Villa fan's like, what are you doing? And every Spurs fan seems to be saying, what are you doing as well?
Man, Spurs, it's just like, I don't know if you've seen that clip, but it's just like, you don't know how good this guy is, man. Like,
yeah.
You have no idea how good this guy is.
Yeah, mad.
Do you want to talk about the deal then? What the offer reportedly is?
Well, I'm going to go to Spengdon first because he's made a good point. He says, I don't think there should be any rush to bring him back in, and I agree with that. Just when he's ready, just let him come in when he's ready. But when he's ready, he's going to need minutes again. We saw it last season. He needed minutes. He had a few games and just got injured again. When I think he got injured again when he was having his best game back, finally, and it's just like, just hope he has no problems this year and can have an injury-free season and just get back to the level he was at. Because he'll be in England. He'll be in the England squad if he gets back to the level he was at previously. He'll be in the England squad because he was so close to it last time. So yeah, but yeah, right.
Do you want to talk about the deal then? What's going on in these reports? We don't think they're true, but I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like Spurs offered 20 million and Giovanni Lo Celso. Now Giovanni Lo Celso has come off another Copa America win, hasn't he? Thoughts on Giovanni Lo Celso?
He's a good player, yeah. He's an okay player. Emery's familiar with him. He understands the system, but he can't stay fit himself. We've been replacing Ramsey with a guy that with an even worse injury record. I don't understand this deal. Even if Lo Celso was always fit, like, you're replacing Ramsey, who's 22 or 23, sorry, I think. High ceiling guy, the potential's still there. We don't know how good he could be yet. For a guy that's kind of on a downtrend in his career, he's approaching 29. I don't think he's better than Ramsey personally, but I know people would debate that as well. And 19 million, like Lo Celso's worth probably what, 20 mil? And you put in 19 million on top, so what, 39 million for Ramsey?
And he's got 1 year left on his contract. Lo Celso.
Yeah, it's just one of the worst deals I've ever heard, and I think it's false. I think it's old news. I think an offer was made before. We know Langer rates Ramsey from his time at Villa. Like, we know
Johan,
relax. And we know Johan knows how much Emery loves Lo Celso. I think it's the funniest, cheekiest bid ever, and I don't think it's spoken about enough. Like, the dynamics of how funny that offer is. It's so cheeky, man.
So cheeky. Rob McKenzie's there as well, isn't he? He was part of our scouting network as well. So
Frederick left there as well.
Millie Edenax there. Like the whole around the academy and the scouting system were all at Spurs now. He just seemed very cheeky. Yeah.
I just think they were in the WhatsApp group chat and they're just like, oh, you know what would be jokes, yeah? Why don't we just offer Lo Celso's coming to the end? Why don't we just see? Why don't you see what happens? Let's see if we can tempt them. But I hope it's fake news. I hope it gets rejected. That is an awful deal. I think that would make the whole window just have a cloud over it to me. I don't think we need to sell any more of the talent. Like, we've raised the money for PSR, man. Like, with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's been a very positive window so far. And I think that deal will bring a bit of negativity around it, which is not needed. I don't think a lot of Villa fans would
not Lo Celso
be on side with that. Not in the way it's structured anyway. But yeah, bro.
If you want to put Madders in, then I might consider
Madders.
I'll take Madders. I want you in that more. I know
I think Madders is quality. Of course, Madders is quality.
But yeah, obviously that would never happen. So Spurs, man, jog on.
That's it, man. Just continue somewhere else. Your competition now, and I say that we finished above them the last 2 seasons, so we're their competition. So they need to be trying to get to our level. So yeah, interesting times, bro. And we move on now. Preseason, next game start next weekend. Onana coming in. Kit comes out Tuesday. Are you going to be finding yourself queuing at Villa Park?
I think I'll wait a bit in the week. I think.
Yeah, no way.
On Thursday, just see let it all die down after.
What time is it on Saturday?
9 till 10.
9 till 10?
On Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I saw 9
I'll go
a.m.
after
till
work.
10 p.m. And then I think the rest of the days are like till 7 or 8, I think.
They must be expecting
a few thousand. An event of it. Yeah, he's making an event of it, to be fair to him.
Just in the mural being painted on there.
Yeah,
the mural.
Sick. Me and you have spoke about our walks to Villa Park, said there needs to be more murals around the place.
Yeah.
And it looks like we've been heard, bro.
And there's a hint at the kit. Rachel Daly. And
there's a hint on the kit. I'm Rachel Daly with the collar.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It looks nice, man. It does look nice from the scattered images. I think the claret looks bang on as well. It's a darker claret from if that is the case. But yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I'm glad that the Adidas isn't yellow. That was going to be a big P for me, but I'm glad it's white. And the Batana.
Controversially, I think sponsors make kits. I know a lot of people say I think sponsor shirts feel empty. I think you need the Batana on there, but if it's all in white, the Batana, I think it will look good.
Yeah, same. For me, I like the Acorns kits the most because it was Acorns and the sponsor. I think the sponsor looked quality on the kits. Yeah. And I think that part with Nike, that's why I like the kit so much. The Batana one, it looks good. It fits in better than previous sponsors we've had. And yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to see it, man. But yeah, bro, I think we'll wrap it there, man. Thanks for joining me on Sunday, and thanks to you all watching. There's good numbers in here. Really appreciate it on the Sunday, 5 till 6. It's good to have these numbers in here. Again, if you could like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and also comment on what we discussed. And if we were to sell, if and when we do sell Diaby and potentially Duran going as well, who would you like to see Villa bringing in that position? Let us know your thoughts. If it was one player, if we're looking at who would be that player who could occupy the 9 as well as playing as a 10 or just an indefinite 10. Let us know your thoughts. Bro, thanks again for joining, and we'll have more episodes coming up, potentially over the week or starting next week. Up the Villa as always, and look forward to seeing this new kit. Up the Villa.